Hi, everybody. It's Denise with Divine Soul Astrology. Today, we're talking about the awesome and the very magnificent new moon in Virgo, right? It's going to be a solar eclipse, and it happens this Sunday, excuse me, here on the West Coast on September 21st. And on the West Coast, it is at 12:54 p.m. That's correct. So, check for your own time in your neck of the woods, right? And so, what is the Virgo new moon about? For one, these eclipses are new moons or full moons on steroids, right? Yeah, so the new moon is when we are planting a new seed. It could be a new idea, but you could start something new as well. And in Virgo wants things to work efficiently. So, we can restructure, possibly reorganize, maybe even redo, right? Mercury is the ruler of Virgo. And so Mercury is the planet of the mind, right? Information processing and more as well. And so the Virgo new moon will be at 29 degrees. And where is the moon? Right here. And it's at 29 degrees with the sun, and this anaretic degree means that something is very powerful here, but something needs to be completed. That's why it is kind of pushing it at the last degree. So depending on what house that's in and also what's going on in your own natal chart, right? Of course, that's going to make it, depend, right, on what needs to be kind of completed. And also, something may need to be purged or let go, something that's not working, because Virgo wants everything to work. Virgo is about systems and processes and also perfection, since Virgo wants everything to work well, right? It's an energy too. Virgo is also about, it can be about over analyzing, right? And overthinking and worrying as well. It can also be about, the lower side of Virgo. We all have a lower side to our sun sign, and everything has a lower side and a higher side. And so the lower personality of that is criticism. Yeah, it can be. Or everything has to be perfect, and so nothing might get done, right? It can be nitpicking too. Virgo sometimes nitpicks, right, but they really want everything to be work well. That is the kind of reason usually for the worry. And so Virgo is also about health, and we see Virgo right here at the top of the chart here, and we see Pisces right here. So here we have the South Node and the North Node in the chart. Right now, the North Node is it's in Pisces. Yeah, it's right here. I was, my own is in Virgo, so I kind of get those a little bit switched. But what we're looking at here when we have this new moon or full moon, really, we are talking about the axis here, with the nodes. So this is a health axis, right? Virgo is about physical health. That's why it's about work. It can be about wellness and health regimens, new ones, of course, or maybe an existing one. But it is about health and work. It's also about Virgo is also about, it represents, excuse me, the sixth house, and that is also the house of daily obligations. So it's kind of the nitty gritty, right? What we have to do, we have to go drop off the kids, we have to get to work, or, just those type of things, right? And so on the other side of the axis, though, is Pisces. Pisces is the psychological health. Pisces is the emotional health, and then we have the physical with Virgo. So there's always this kind of push and pull here, with the nodes, right? With this axis, and everybody has, even without the axis, right? We always have, with the nodal axis, we always have really an axis, because like for Sagittarius, for example, which is the ninth house, represents the ninth house, then the opposite sign is Gemini, representing the third house. So they're opposite signs, but they are really there to kind of learn to be your higher self. Yeah, learn to kind of merge these energies of the best of Gemini and the best of Sagittarius, because they are similar as well. But getting back to this, right, Virgo, the Virgo new moon. Yeah, this could be about doing things better. So for some people, they could be purging things, letting things go that really that will allow them to maybe innovate, but it's really improve. It's really to get things done better. It's really for efficiency. Yeah, it is. All right. And so with this, excuse me, guys, but with the new moon here and the axis of the north node down here, which talks about your true potential, right? Your higher potential. This is asking, the nodal axis here is very connected to the moon. Yeah, the nodal axis, these are the lunar nodes. So it has everything to do with the new moon today, right? Or the new moon that is on Sunday. So, here in the United States, right? So with this, we talk about trusting your intuition and blending with Pisces, the north node down here, trusting your intuition. And this is why we just had a Pisces full moon, right? And that is the axis, right? And now we have the Virgo new moon, but trusting your intuition, being compassionate, being self-compassionate, because Virgo can sometimes be about being hard even on yourself. So there's a merging here that needs to happen with this axis. Okay, and what else is Virgo about? Virgo is the Virgin. It's ruled by Mercury, but Virgo is about purification, and that's why it is the Virgin, right? Purification is one way to look at it is to let things go and kind of a cleansing and a decluttering, but sometimes it can be painful purification. It depends, right? Now, Virgo is also about service. So this is about helping others and being useful, always wanting to help others and gaining a sense of organization as well. Remember, I said Virgo wants things to run well, decluttering in your life, in your daily life, and discerning, right? And being very detail oriented. I mean, that's kind of what organizing is about, in that way. It's also a processes, excuse me, and methods and systems that work right. And Virgo rules the digestive track. So it's very possible here that with the new moon in Virgo, that some of you will be letting go of like health ailments, like things that are bothering you. It could be, and maybe that are related to the gastro or the digestive system, right? So we start here. We're going to have all the signs today. I'm going to talk about all the signs and how they resonate with, with each house basically. And so today, so we'll have the horoscopes on the 12 signs. And when we look here at the new moon right here, which is right next to the sun, this is a conjunction, and this is usually when things are working together, right? And I'll be talking about some conjunctions here, so um, and so here we have the moon and the sun both at 29 degrees at this very powerful degree, and it is conjunct here with the MC. The MC has to do with your career. It has to do with your achievement, but also, conversely, it has to do with restrictions and discipline and learning lessons as well. If we are not doing our best and kind of doing hard work, being serious and committed to something, that's really what the MC is about, right? So this can be your reputation as well, but we have that together there. So somebody and Virgo is about work, so this can be a complete understanding or kind of an alliance with career, um, and the sun and the moon, right? The moon is going to always be about our emotional mind, our emotional self. It does represent the mother, right? But it is making, it's about this emotional stability that is so important, and how we use our emotional intelligence, really, how we choose things that will help us to stay safe and secure, right? And the moon is, the moon rules Cancer, and this is the fourth house of home and family, but emotional stability. So we see that that is a theme here, right? For sure with the moon. And the sun is a sense of yourself. The sun is always a sense of yourself. It is more the career. And when we talk about the sun versus the sun sign versus the rising sign, the sun sign is your personality outside, like kind of out in the sun, right? It has to do with your own leadership because it is ruled by Leo, and it is a sense of yourself and your rising sign. And I'll talk about the rising sign later in the video, but the rising signs are how you evolve and how you kind of drive yourself through life, right? It's kind of the inner self, basically. And the sun is more of your social. Yeah, that's one way to look at it. Okay, so Yeah, and so this is supporting career, the MC conjunct the South Node as well. So when we see the South Node here in Virgo, Virgo's already about purging to make things better, letting things go that just don't work anymore. Old processes, old methods, could be old beliefs even because it's ruled by Mercury. Mercury is the mind. The South Node is there, and the South Node is also asking to purge things, let it go, right? And sometimes the South Node is related to past lives, our past here on Earth as well. It can be related to family, wounds, anything that is connected to the past here. So there's something here that has to be let go, and that's very clear, right? So we have also, yeah, and this is when we see the South Node like that, it's about letting things go that stand in your way of you becoming your true potential, and that's why we have the axis here. You see? Yeah, and here is the North Node down here, which looks like a little kind of an earphone, right? Now, yeah, we have Venus in Virgo right here, and this is considered a fall. So Venus is not like in its prime or in its power when it is in Virgo. But Venus here can allow a discernment about a relationship. Yeah, like does this relationship work and is it practical? Because Virgo wants things to be practical and orderly and somewhat simple, although there can be, a huge mental checklist for Virgo. There can, like, is this working? Pros and cons, things like that. So, yeah, and with this Venus here in Virgo, this can talk about a critical aspect of yourself. It can. So, this is something that a lot of us, or some of us, are going to want to leave behind any self-criticism, because down here is the North Node, and it's in Pisces, and Pisces wants us to be compassionate and self-loving, and and compassionate toward others, right? But you have to start with yourself, of course. So, and this can also, the Venus right here in Virgo, this can also talk about wanting to help somebody. Virgo's about service, wanting to help a partner grow emotionally, of course, right? And now we have Mercury here, the natal ruler for Virgo. So Mercury's right here as well. It's right here in Libra, and it is conjunct here with the sun and the moon. So it is working basically with the sun and the moon. Yes, it is. Um, excuse me. And so this is, as I said, it's conjoining. And so here, and a conjunction is what I was saying, or conjoining, right? These three planets here really are joining forces. Yeah, they are. Now, we have Mercury right here, and Mercury wants us to be smart. It is the planet of intelligence. Mercury wants us to make clear-cut decisions, analyze, don't overanalyze. Mercury also rules Gemini. Yeah, so it is Virgo and Gemini that share Mercury. And so here we have Mercury right here in Libra. It could be, be smart about your relationships, be smart about your choices. It could be, and with Venus over here in Virgo, wow, this can be like, maybe for some people things were not working out in their relationship. And Virgo with a discerning eye says, yeah, I need to be smart about my relationships, right? And that can, yeah. And so now we have Mercury also is supporting plans and goals, right? Mercury is about our plans and goals. It sure is. It's about our ideas, our conversations, and how we kind of just approach things mentally. And so this is supporting, there could be plans and goals here that will support like financial gain. Yeah, because this is for Virgo, this would be in the second house. So this can talk about financial gain right here. Um, yeah, it can. So here we have Aries. Let's talk about Aries right now. And Aries, this new moon is happening in your sixth house. Your sixth house is here in Virgo, and we go forward 6 houses, right? We start with Aries, and here we end up at Virgo. And so the sixth house is the natural Virgoan house, right? And so Aries has the natural chart, right? And nobody else does because Aries is the first sign and all the houses are following in sequentially, right? And so here we have Virgo and the sixth house as well. So for you, Aries, you can be planting a new seed about your lifestyle, about your daily life. You might be starting something new that will change your daily life. You could be purging things that are in your daily life. You could, basically start living a whole new way. And you probably think that it's better, right? Because it's in Virgo. It is efficient. It is working. And so you could also be having Virgo, and the sixth house is about work. You could be thinking about a new job, or you could be thinking about a new job, or maybe you have a new health regimen as well. And as I was saying earlier, it's possible here that you are kind of letting go. Here's the South Node. You could be letting go, Aries, of like health issues, right? You could be curing yourself. And Virgo is about health, right? It is about healing as well. Yeah, all right. And so now we have the sun and the moon opposing Saturn in Pisces. Here is the sun and the moon, and here is the opposition down here. Right? Try to move that a little bit, but yeah, it's kind of in the way. But yeah, what can we do really, right? Yeah. So, um, yeah, and so here we have, yeah, I'm afraid this thing is going to like you like turn off, or like block, like yeah, that's what I'm afraid of here. So let's leave it there. It has gone away. Let's leave it. All right, so let's look at the sun and the moon opposing Pisces now. We can see opposing Saturn in Pisces. It's right here. And so I don't know why it keeps showing up there, but um, I'm just going to move this over here a little bit. So here we have, and this is in the 12th house of endings for you. So here you are, Aries, and here's the 12th house. So there's endings for you. Definitely. And, it's possible that there's something that you need to be very serious about. We have Saturn in Pisces, or commit to something, possibly. And it can be, to honestly, to become like, to help reach your true potential right here in your 12th house. Something has to go here. Now, Pisces is also about healing too. And so when we have, um, yeah, this is highlighting a release or a surrender in the 12th house. But the sun is focusing, like is showing you there's a need to commit to some long-term goals. That's what the sun opposing Saturn is about. To be serious about something for sure. It doesn't have to be a long-term goal, but it has to be something, it's something that is serious, while at the same time focusing on your daily tasks. So, yeah, there can also, and this is also a need to kind of become more efficient in something. And it's possible here that you just becoming serious about it, Aries, can make all the difference, right? There's a need to avoid escapism, because here is Saturn in Pisces, and Pisces is about escapism. Yeah, Saturn's kind of taking over there. It is, because it is intercepted here, but in Pisces, but still we have the Piscean energy here. And so there's a need to release old patterns that keep you limited. Yeah. Now, the moon is opposing Saturn as well. We talked about the sun. And this can, have you kind of feel like you have too many responsibilities. The sun can sometimes be, it is our sense of self. Um, and so Saturn is, and it is our duty as well. It has to do with our duty and our leadership. And so does Saturn here. You might feel like you have too many responsibilities right now. And that is showing up in the moon, opposing Saturn. That is showing up um, in Pisces once again, right in your 12th house. So you could be dealing with that here. And with the Virgo new moon, it's possible, Aries, that you can learn how to kind of organize and still kind of maybe meet that commitment or just improve something or get serious about it. It's interesting how Virgo is about organizing, and I have felt the same thing. This month, I have put out all old clothes and just old things that I don't need, right? So Aries, let's look at Mars. And Mars is your ruling planet right here. And it's at 29 degrees of Libra too. And here we have the 29-degree, the new moon in Virgo. So there's a connection here. And so with this Mars in Libra though, and this is in your seventh house of partnerships, there's something that you might need to end a relationship. You might, but there's something that you need to kind of complete or finish. And it may be a relationship, it might. This is, you need the drive to do something here. Maybe you have the drive, but it has to be done. There's because the 29th degree is pushing you to complete something. It wants to move to the 0 degree in Scorpio in the next sign. And it can talk about kind of, that can mean sometimes Mars in Libra can mean there are arguments in relationships and something has to be done about it. It can talk about that, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, and um, this is also in your house of legalities, Aries. So, Mars right here. Um, so there could be something that you need to do that is related to a court case or, some type of legality, possibly. And this is also your house, your seventh house of openness. It's also about like being open to receive, right? It's a very social, communicating kind of sign, Libra there, but Libra wants balance and harmony, and sometimes at all costs. And so with Mars here in Libra, there may not be a certain amount of balance in a certain situation, right? And this can be very passionate as well. This can also talk about a very passionate union with somebody, because Mars is really about action, anger, and passion. That's really what it's about. Yeah, and drive, right? Which is, action. Yeah, and potentially this Mars and Libra, this can encourage you uh, and compel you, maybe, to have more courage with regard to something here, right? Now we have Venus, and this is sextiling Mars. Here's Venus. So when we see the sextile, it's a little star. We see kind of these little stars around here, right here. And here is Venus, and the sextile is right here with the finger, right? And so here it reaches Mars. So Venus, sextiling Mars, it's an opportunity, whether or not you want to take it, though, or whether or not you choose to see it, things like that. But you could meet somebody, or you could establish a very harmonious relationship as well. You could, Aries. So that's interesting there as well. And so Mars in Libra is also opposing Chiron. So what is Chiron and where is it? It is in Aries. And so when we see this axis with the Libra and the Aries axis, it talks about kind of balancing your needs with a partner's. It can. That is kind of the main gist. It is like the couple or the partnership and the self in Aries. So we have Chiron in Aries, and this is, in your first house, in your sign. So there's something that you need to heal, Aries, and Chiron's been there for a while, right? But there's something that you kind of need to heal. It can be something simple. It can be, or not so, it doesn't have to be a terrible disease or anything like that. Usually this is more psychological, but it can be physical, possibly. It definitely can. And so, with this opposition in your sign, there can be tension between your need for a balanced relationship and overcoming past wounds as well. Chiron is about our wounds, but it is about our ability to heal. So it's interesting how Chiron stays for a long time in a sign, and so this is giving us the energy, not the energy, but gives us this time to kind of figure it out, because Chiron is also about self-reflection. So, in essence, this is saying that often we can heal our own problems, right? And that's what Virgo is about, as is Pisces can be as well. Pisces more the psychological, and Virgo the more physical. All right. So these aspects, during these aspects, right, seeds that are planted, like during this astrology, basically, seeds that are planted during the new moon, and since this is an eclipse, it can last up to a year and a half. Yeah, it can be activated, and I know this to be true because, I know a couple personal, with friends and family as well, where last spring they were planting a seed, and it came tumbling down. Yeah, and so. And it is finally coming to fruition in a very good way. Yeah. And so when we have eclipses, even with the new moon, and new moon is more about new beginnings, but people can, endings, we can always have endings because anything new always kind of ends something in a way, right? Even if you're not totally with something new, you are spending some time. There's some other aspect that will kind of go away, right? And so, yeah, and this new moon can come to fruition in March of 2026. It could be It can be at another time as well, but that will be in the eclipse season next year, when we will have a full moon in Virgo. Yeah, I believe we will. So with an eclipse, though, this activation, yeah, as I mentioned, will, can happen up to a year and a half. So now we have the moon, and it is trining Pluto. And what is a trine? Where is the trine? The moon is here, and Pluto is right here. So a trine is a triangle, basically. And it is adding ease and rapid development as well, and removing all obstacles for something to happen, for usually good, not necessarily all the time though, but for things to happen quickly. There's an ease there. So if there's something that you've been wanting, a trine can really help you. On the other side, if somebody is very sick, and they've been suffering for a long time, sometimes a trine can bring in a welcome ending, right? A welcome passing away. Sometimes it can. So that's what I mean about they're not always about, happy subjects, but it can help still, right? Yeah, it can, the trine. And so we have the moon trining Pluto here, and this can be friends and friends and social groups, clubs, affiliations, whatever, can help you and support you emotionally right now, can support your emotional being, and also to help you harness, to help you, and the sun will be there too, Aries, to help you. The sun is also trining. Here's the sun trining Pluto, and this is to help you harness your personal power. Pluto is about power and transformation. And it can be about work, right? Because here we have the sun and the moon. The new moon is, ruled by Virgo. Virgo is about work, is work, health, and also the daily grind. But it's about our mind and analyzing things, right? The communicative or the intelligence, right? But this transformation, Aries, this can allow you to be more resilient. Yeah, the way Pluto really speaks of. Pluto's very generational. It is like for everybody. It is this Plutonian energy, as is Uranus and Neptune, especially Pluto and Neptune, because those are the slowest planets. So they're considered to be generational, right? So now we have and this can help you, this transformation areas can help you overcome challenges, whatever they may be, right? And here we have Pluto in the 11th house. So not sure what those challenges are. Maybe you are trying to improve something and innovate, because the 11th house is about innovation, right? Maybe there's some freedom that you are looking for in your life as well, um, because it is in the 11th house, and it can talk about rebellion, unexpected change as well. Yeah, but it can talk about, um, it talks about breakthroughs, social groups, and innovating, yeah, and making things better. So this can also show you a deeper understanding of yourself. It can. So here we have Taurus now, and the new moon is in your fifth house of lovers, children. This is teaching children even, and self-expression and creativity. Remember, the fifth house is the house of Leo, and that is, and so here we see Leo, in your fifth house here. It says number 9. Don't pay attention to that, because here you are, Aries down here in the red. And so, or, whatever they kind of call this color here. Yeah, I would consider it red, right? And so here we have Aries with the ram. And so it's the fifth house. And the fifth house is the house of pleasure, romance. It's all about recreational activity and entertainment. And this could be, for you, it could be the start for you, Taurus. Was I saying Aries? I'm sorry, I beg your pardon here. Yeah, let me pay attention here. This is for you, Taurus. And when we go here, we go to Virgo, and this is your fifth house. So, but your fifth house is, I beg your pardon, you guys, your fifth house is ruled by it's ruled by Mercury, but the fifth house is about lovers, children, romance, and pleasure, right? And creativity, and also your own self-expression. So this is what we have here. We might have the start of a new hobby for you, Taurus. We might, right? This could be a new relationship for you, especially with that new moon, right, in your fifth house. Um, yeah, and you could be planning a vacation. Maybe you are going on vacation, possibly, right? You may feel emotional about these fifth house themes, though. You could. You might. So your self-expression, your romance, your creative pursuits, they're all highlighted for you, Taurus. Yeah. And so your natal Venus is in Virgo and it is conjunct the South Node. It's asking you to release relationships that don't work for you, Taurus, right? Yeah, it can be asking you that. It can be asking you as well to release old wounds that maybe have to do with parents. The fifth house is also about parents and children. Release these old wounds that could be really affecting your relationships, or maybe even your financial stability, right? Because Venus is about it's also about money, and so. Yeah, and this is asking you to, drop your old patterns, Taurus, uh, and you have to see them, right? You have to see the old patterns first. Yeah, you have to make them conscious and let those go to unleash your creative potential. So now we have Venus, and that is sextiling Mars, and here is Venus. Did I talk about that? I feel like I talked about that with Aries, because Aries rules, you rule Venus, or Taurus rules Venus, and so we have Mars actually ruling Aries. So that sextile for you, though, it's in a different house. So this can be about a discernment of either a current relationship and your attitude toward Taurus. This is an opportunity to improve, but courage is definitely needed with Mars there. It's asking you to take action or have courage, either one, and it can be, um, the South Node is right here too, so this can be, about courage, about leaving those old patterns out. Yeah. And there can be something really sexual going on here, possibly here, because this is your fifth house. It's about love here. And we have the sixth house is here. Yeah, it can be. It can be also that there may be an opportunity with that sextile for you to kind of maybe have a great relationship that is, really helping you, that is really vibing with your daily life or your lifestyle. This could be a relationship that works really well, period, that is helping you kind of uh, improve your life, or you just feel like that person is really supporting you, things like that. So now we have Venus, and Venus is squaring Uranus, right? Here's Uranus right here. It is the little antenna. Yes, it is. And it is the planet that rules Aquarius. And here's Aquarius down here with the two little electrical marks. So we see the technology kind of, right? Yeah, and the innovation there. We do. Um, and also intuition, right? That antenna is for your intuition, for sure it is. And so here we have Venus squaring. And what is a square? A square is a tension, inner conflict, prompting you to take action and do something about it, right? So Venus is up here and it is squaring Uranus here. And this can, talk about inner tension. Basically, um, because Uranus is in your house of finances, and the second house of finances here, and well-being. And this is creating tension between your comfort and your security, Taurus. That's really important for you too. It is. And the comfort and security of your daily life, and perhaps in a relationship, and your need for change. So there's something going on here. It can be about a relationship, but this can be about the money that you earn. Venus also represents the money you earn. It represents the second house. And here we have Uranus in your second house. So this is a square. There's tension here. You might feel some type of instability here that has to do with your job, or because, this is in Virgo too, right? Which is about work. But your second house is your earned income. It is. It's also your finances or your financial well-being and your self-esteem in general. So there could be something really kind of shaking that, right? That square will clear. All right, Taurus. Yeah. No need to worry. No. And now we have the moon opposing. The moon is in your fifth house here. Virgo is your fifth house, but the moon is opposing Neptune, and that is in Aries, right? And so let's look at that here. Okay, so you might have a need for a major practicality in your life right now, Taurus. Um, yeah, and so let's look at that real quick here. I have the moon opposing the moon, yeah, opposing Neptune. Wow. So something has to be brought together here. And so with an opposition, we have a challenge, right? We are supposed to merge the energies to basically to improve or to make things better, right? So yeah, with that moon in Virgo, you could really, and in your fifth house, you may be too trusting. It's a possibility here in your relationships. That can be because here is the fifth house of love. So you could be too trusting. The moon in the fifth house can be too emotional about love, about relationships, and may be too trusting because Neptune is about overly trusting people. Yeah, that's one of the, excuse me, the important aspects. And why is that? Is because Neptune is believes that all can be. It's a very compassionate energy. It believes it rules Pisces, but feels that is very idealistic, where everything can be fine, everything can work out, everything can be beautiful. Yeah, and so with that compassion of that Neptune, and Pisces, this is, even though the Neptune is in Aries here, you could be maybe a little bit too giving in a relationship. That's a possibility here. Yeah, don't be too trusting right now, Taurus, because this can leave you. This can be about disappointment. It can, and disillusionment. And avoid being self-critical. That can happen. That is, that can happen with this placement. It can play out like that. Don't be self-critical, or and don't need, but you know what? Perfectionism is not important, right? No, it's not. Just doing a good job, right? I've been there too myself, right? Because Mercury is the ruler for my ascendant. Yeah, so I understand that as well. All right. So, yeah, so I'm going to move on here to Gemini, and for some reason it's getting bloody hot in here, and I don't really understand that. So for Gemini, let's look at this. And so Gemini, this is going to affect you, right? Simply because Mercury is the ruler of the new moon, and so that is your ruling planet as well. So we have here, this is happening in your fourth house of home and family, and this is the physical abode, right? So here you are, and here we go four ahead, right? Four houses ahead. This is about your physical abode, your emotional stability, and the past, and also the public. That is what the fourth house represents. So, the sun and the moon are both at perfect conjunction at 29 degrees here in your fourth house. So there's clarity here about something that you need to let go of here because it's at the Taur. You need to complete. Doesn't always have to be let go, but Virgo is about purging. So there could be something that maybe you have to leave behind, past wounds, family wounds, because here is the South Node is in Virgo as well, and that is about that, right? But the sun and the moon together are giving you kind of a, like, you're not, it's, it can be where you are not too emotional, but you're clear on things, right? Or you're kind of looking at things in a practical way, sort of, and with a little bit of leadership and confidence with the sun, and enough emotion to kind of balance that out. All right, so there's probably a turning point for you, Gemini. There definitely could be here. And in your fourth house, there's probably some type of turning point. You could be moving as well. You could be thinking about moving, right? This is about the physical abode. You may be, there's new ideas, right? Ideas to move, where to move to, or, maybe to relocate. So now we have this new moon is suggesting your focus is on the practical issues. Yeah, it is the practical issues that may affect your daily life or your home and family, right? And you could be, maybe you are Gemini thinking of a more practical approach. You could be building skills as well. Um, yeah, it's a possibility that you are building skills. Because Virgo is also about skills. It is because of the work. And you could have a desire for organizing, like organize something just better to make, to bring in more competence, right? Or, efficiency and streamlining, prioritizing your needs, Gemini, and not being self-critical or anxious is very important. Yes, it is for you. So, yeah, your focus right now is most likely probably on service and helping. This can help really support your emotional stability. Maybe you are helping family members. You could, or anybody who's kind of your tribe. Yeah. Sorry, you guys. And so the new moon can bring you a new job, Gemini, and right, it could here. And so this is in Virgo. Anybody could really. Um, but here could be a new job for you. This can be the beginning of you improving, organizing your work, paying attention to details, maybe that you were not paying into. You could be also developing a system, right? Although Geminis are usually paying attention to details, but sometimes we get a little scattered, right? And I know this because of my Gemini rising. So you might have a new self-nurturing is going to help improve. This is in your fourth house. This is all about self-nurturing. Venus can be about self-care. It can. And so here we have, and Virgo is about health, right? But the fourth house is about nurturing. And so it can be, this can be something going on with your mother. It's a possibility here. Um, And also, you could be releasing past family wounds as well with that north-south node there, or just related to childhood. That's a possibility. And the new moon can help you purge. The new moon in Virgo can help you purge all those old beliefs that, I don't know, kept you down or maybe anxious or just kind of bothered you way in the back of your mind possibly, or just have come up from time to time, right? You could be letting go of those. Um, yeah, you might have a new health regimen there too that can support your emotional health. That's it. Or your emotional health right now could even support your physical health. That's a possibility. I feel like it's usually it can go both ways, right? And so the moon is opposing Neptune, and here is Neptune right here, as I've shown before. But Neptune is down here in Aries, and so this is in your house of the future, gains and social networks. And so, yeah, avoid worrying about the future, Gemini. Yeah, it's not going to help you at all, right? And pay attention, basically. But excessive daydreaming and overly hoping about things, and yeah, don't get into that energy, right? Because I don't feel like it's going to help you. Worrying about the future, it never does, right? And so, leaving doubts and fears and old wounds and issues and things like that from the past can help you to be more efficient. I feel like I mentioned this, and practical in your work. It can help you to be more focused and to, a little bit more analytical to look at details that are important, right? Sometimes some of us have jobs that are very detail oriented, right? And it's very important. And Virgos are great for that, right? It's Virgos are, and Mercury is, as well. But Virgos are all about the details, yeah, and that is why, like, if you are, a manager to hire a Virgo, they pay attention to all the details, right? Which, opposing Sagittarius, which is the opposite sign of Gemini, though. But my point about it is that Virgos see the details and or this Virgoan energy, right, can see the details, but not the big picture sometimes, right? So don't get too caught up though, try to see the big picture as well, right? All right, so, yeah, you're becoming emotionally stronger, Gemini. It does definitely look like that. I feel like that's great. So now we have Jupiter sextiling the South Node. Where's Jupiter? Right here in Cancer, where it really loves to be. It is exalted in Cancer. This is supporting family. This is supporting emotional health. This can be expanding your family as well. Spiritual beliefs can really kind of improve, the emotional mind or the emotional stability. There's really a lot to this, Jupiter in the planet of expansion, right? Of growth and expansion, how it is here in Cancer, right? Cancer is very nurturing. This can also, for some Jupiter and Cancer can, help to make us more nurturing, right? Even self-nurturing, which is very important. So we have Jupiter there, and let's look at that South Node in Virgo. There's an opportunity to to right here. And here's this, did I say there's a sextile? Yeah, there is. Here's Jupiter, and it is, uh, it doesn't look like it is sextiling. Oh, yes, it is right here. This south node. And so this is an opportunity for you, Gemini, to learn, like use what you've learned in the past. Use your wisdom, really. And Jupiter is about wisdom as well, to help you earn more money, to help you improve family matters or family issues, or also to help you improve your self-esteem and your well-being, your emotional well-being. Can help you improve your physical health. This is a great sextile there for you, for sure it is. And maybe you need to forgive your mother, forgive your dads. This can play out that way, uh, possibly. But natal Mercury is also in your fifth house. So here's your natal Mercury right here in your fifth house. Can be about parents and children as well. The fifth house is the house of lovers. I talked about it earlier, but the fifth house, but this one is in Libra, right? So Venus rules your fifth house. Excuse me, Gemini. And when we have Mercury in Libra here, yeah, this is also, excuse me, guys, the fifth house is also about teaching children. It's the house of pleasure, recreational activities and entertainment and things like that. And this is the house of self-expression, not only creativity, but self-expression, which is the ultimate creativity, right? It is. And it can be about babies as well because of, the creativity and the self-expression mode. It can. That's why it's about children. And so with Mercury there, Mercury is in your fifth house. This is like showing you here, it may be even giving you ideas here. And it can be about relationships here, but this is making you definitely smart, probably have, or more intelligent, possibly more emotionally intelligent right here in Libra. You could have plans and goals with your relationships as well right now. And this can be also about some type of legality here. When we have Mercury in Libra, it's possible that there is some type of legality that is going on or court case, and you are completely understanding it or kind of, you know what to do about it, right? And so, yeah, the moon is also conjunct with Mercury. So this is a strong mind for you. And this is what I'm saying here, right? This is indicating a strong mind and a need for perfectionism. And overthinking can happen with that as well. So try to avoid that. It never helps to overthink. No, it doesn't. Yeah. And so the interesting thing too is that when we have this new moon in, we still are under a little bit under well, we are in a way because these eclipses can last up to a year and a half. We're coming out of this eclipse here with the full moon lunar eclipse in Pisces, but this is about, this whole axis is about trusting your intuition to improve your health as well. Yeah, very cool. And so, yeah, and so now we have Mercury is conjunct Neptune. Neptune's down here. And this is asking you to be be practical and discerning in love and relationships and your creative endeavors, right? But avoiding creative pursuits that seem impractical, or it can be more that avoid worrying about it. Yeah, this is trust down here with this, with the opposite sign here in the axis. Trust in your intuition here. Trust and surrender that all will be okay. That is always playing in because it is the opposite sign of of Virgo. hmm and so now, especially with the nodes there, right? And so we have the sun, and that is conjunct Mercury. This is giving you authority in your life. Here's the sun, and here's Mercury. The sun is about your authority, is about your personal leadership. And so this is giving you more authority in your life and a sense of self, of intelligence and clarity. So you could be feeling that right now, Gemini, which is really beautiful, right? Yeah, it is. Um, Your communication is favorable. It could be, especially with lovers, as Mercury sits in in Libra. It could be great communication with a lawyer, right? Or with any, we could because of the legalities here, right? With Libra, blind spots can be removed right now for sure. And avoid any arrogance, Gemini. The sun can involve too much ego. Yeah, sometimes it does, kind of takes over there, right? And so Uranus is in your sign. And let's look at that. Uranus is right here. So Uranus is in your first house. It's going to be there for 7 more years, I believe. It could be even 7.5. But, it's at 1 degree. So this is kind of the beginning here. But this Uranus in your sign is kind of, it can be instability. You could be changing in your first house. You could be changing yourself. So there could be some instability there. I can talk about volatility, but there's probably changes. You're probably experiencing a lot of changes, and you might through for the next 7 years, you could experience change, right? So, with this Uranus, where is the Uranus? Is in your sign. Yeah, the moon is trining Uranus here, and the trines are a flow, right? That's what they do. They provide ease, things that can happen very easily. It's a very supportive and favorable energy. And why is it so? Because usually the trines, we have the moon here is in Virgo. Um, what was I saying here? That is not a regular trine though, because usually we have when we have a trine, we have planets that are trining each other in the same element, right? So this would be Virgo and Taurus, but it is actually at 1 degree in Gemini. But still, we have a trine there. We do, and that trine is going to kind of help you to um, it's going to help you trust yourself. Yeah, it is. And also, your ideas here, right? Trust your emotional intelligence, trust your heart, basically, and trust your intellectual pursuits. This can help you, Gemini, to really free yourself and improve your self-image or how you feel about yourself. Also, with regard to family matters and your own emotional security, as I mentioned, right? Yeah, and so let's move on now, and we're going to look at Cancer right now. And so Cancer, the full moon, the new moon, it's not a full moon. I'm writing this down. The new moon is in your third house, right? So we were talking a little bit about the third house, sort of, because we were talking about Gemini, but Gemini rules the third house. Your third house is ruled by Mercury as well. And Cancer, this is why they say, that Cancerians are super intelligent. Here we have the third house which is, rules the mind as well. The third house is the mind. It is information processing. It also rules siblings and the local neighborhood, right? It does short-term travel and things like that. The familiarity, right? The local environment and, the local community, the neighborhood. This is the third house. Now, Mercury is ruling your third house, which is beautiful. And so, this was what makes Cancerians so smart. I was reading that and I was thinking about my son and just how you ask him to do something and it's so streamlined and he's kind of like, Mom, how come, why it's not hard, right? Well, he's, 35, so, and I'm not, right? But yeah, he's a tech too, so he's pretty smart, right? He's a self-made tech as well. So the new moon is in your third house, and as I said, this is also about plans and goals. You could be planning something right now, Cancer, or you're paying attention to your goals, right? You definitely could. That is the third house as well. You could be making decisions and choices, possibly. And siblings could be really important right here, or your local community. And this is relevant because Mercury rules the third house, right? As I was saying, right? But Mercury's at home there, and that's why this is so great, right? And this is about endings and new beginnings. Yeah, it is. Here, we have this in the third house. Um, yeah, it is about endings and new beginnings. It is about endings and new beginnings, really kind of for everybody, because Virgo is about the purging. Um, Mercury rules your 12th house of endings as well. So let's look at that, Cancer. Yeah, Mercury, and that's why this is about endings, because here Gemini is your 12th house right before you. the last house. And so, yeah, there is definitely a purging going on. Yeah, and you may need change, right? You may need change. There could be unexpected, because here's Uranus. There could be unexpected change for you, possibly. But I feel like there is a need for change here, or a need for to end something and purge something for something new with the new moon in Virgo, right? Yeah. And so we have Mercury, excuse me, and that is conjunct. Here's Mercury conjunct the moon. The moon is in your third house again. So, the moon in your third house, it's sometimes it can be kind of toning down the emotional mind sometimes, but um yeah, this Mercury conjunct with the moon, this is uniting your thoughts and your feelings, Cancer. So that's a really good thing, because, that is uniting the emotional mind and the intelligent mind, which is, the best, right? Yeah, the best in the West, right? So here we have Mercury in Libra, and this is communication with partners can definitely improve. Here is Mercury over here. Um, yeah, communication with partners can improve there. And also your attitude, maybe your attitude can improve there, but um, you may want that. You may want communication possibly to improve here. There could have been, it's possible here that, and maybe with a partner here, maybe it's been a little emotional here because the moon is conjunct Mercury over here. And as I was saying, sometimes we can unite these, right, to improve matters. But there could be a partnership that is a little emotional for you, Cancer. You are an emotional sign as it is. But you could also, and this may, this is what you may want, is my point. Yeah, to improve matters, communication, possibly with a partner, or a partnership, right? Business or personal, for sure. And we have Mercury right here, and that is opposing, or it's being opposed by Neptune. So here is Mercury again opposing Neptune. And this could be, and Mercury's in Libra. This is the axis of the relationship or the partner, and it is with the self, Aries, right? So this is what this axis is about. And so you could be, trying to get clear on matters in a relationship, like what's fair. You might be seeking balance in a relationship, but considering your own needs. That's really important, to always consider your own needs, right? Saturn is conjunct Neptune, asking you to be clear and realistic. Yeah, it is. And here is Saturn is in Pisces right now, and it sure is. It's kind of, pinching Pisces a little bit, like, hey, time to get serious, right? That's great that you're creative and creative genius. You're so compassionate, and you're a healer and a doctor and a nurse and all these things, but a painter, whatever it is, right? But we have to get serious, right? We need balance in our lives. So now we have the sun. And so the sun is at a perfect conjunction with the moon. Yeah, they're both at 29 degrees, and it is conjuncting the MC. And the MC is about your career. And so your career might be really important right now. It could be the focus, right? And so this is a new moon, and especially in Virgo, right? Virgo's about work. It sure is. And the third house also can be, sometimes it's about sales and paperwork and things like that, but that can be related to work for sure, documents and things like that. So now, yeah, your career is kind of the focus. And yeah, and maybe you have a public career. That's a possibility right here, where you connect with local, this is the third house, where you collect with local community. Maybe you work close to your close to your home, and there's some type of community going on there, with coworkers, or this can be any community really, but it can be related to your work, and it can also be related to your health. This can be about you, kind of, maybe you're going bike riding, or working out with a neighbor. That can happen here. And you have just kind of planted that seed, right? You have or it can be somebody across town, but, somebody who's kind of in a local community with you, right? Yeah. And so, mm-hmm. And so now we have, we have the sun and the moon with the conjunction with the MC, which is about careers, your emotions and your own identity here, Cancer, which is here are your emotions and your self-identity or your sense of yourself here. Sometimes your social personality, and your moon is really your emotional personality. Hmm. There can be something new with that, right? But there's an efficiency to it, perhaps even a service element. Maybe you are, there's some type of service that you are doing or helping somebody. You could be doing that, right? And now getting back to Mercury in the 12th, here's not Mercury in the 12th, but Mercury's not in the 12th, no. But Mercury rules your 12th house. As I said before, you're letting go of something, maybe sacrificing something even, because the new moon is bringing you changes. Yeah, the new moon is bringing you changes. We have Uranus here, and let's see what house Uranus rules for you, because Uranus is in your 12th house, bringing endings for sure, and creating a lot of change, even unexpected. I feel like I might have said that earlier. And Uranus rules your, where are you, Cancer? Uranus rules your eighth house of intimate relationships, transformation, real estate. It's a big one, right? And shared monies, any kind of shared monies, even with your boss, he's writing your check. That is a shared asset or a shared resource, rather. And so, yeah, and so it can be about that. Um, yeah, this is interesting here. But yeah, this can be about money too. It can. Yeah, you could be, this can be about, Pluto over here now, getting back to this, but Pluto is in this house that is ruled, the eighth house, and this is also about the occult. So you could be, maybe you are, kind of, and Uranus as well can be related to breakthroughs. You could be experiencing breakthroughs right now, Cancer, spiritual kind of, yeah, breakthroughs that are helping you. Yeah, definitely. All right. So, and so, yeah, and so these changes can happen quickly when we have Uranus in your 12th house. Mercury is also trining Uranus, letting changes occur with decisions, perhaps, right? That could feel a little maybe insecure, like unstable, possibly, but you are definitely like analyzing the situation here. It looks like you are. And some of these changes will be very smart changes and very innovative for you too. Uranus is also about your innovation, right? Yeah, and this could be also too, maybe you are working in technology, possibly with this 12th house. Um, Usually this is letting go, but you could be surrendering maybe to a high-tech job here. That could be the case. Wow. I know my son is, yeah, he is already a tech, but surrendering to a new job, yeah, a new tech job. Yeah, it is a surrender when it's a big move, right? It's a big change, right? And so now we have Leo, and let's look at you, Leo. And so Leo, your natal sun is in a perfect conjunction with the moon. Um, Yeah, and the MC and the new moon is bringing a new sense of yourself. So where are we now, Leo? So here it's in the second house. So this could be a new job for you, a new way to bring more money in with the new moon in Virgo. Virgo's about work, and your second house is your house of earned income. This is also your well-being. There's something you could be doing here to improve your well-being and your emotional, health. Kind of. I feel like you are, and I feel like you're here. We have this another purging here because Virgo's about decluttering and purging as well. And you could be taking a job that is very service oriented. You might, right? And so this South Node though is letting you let go of potentially like uh, unconscious patterns that you didn't realize before that could have been affecting your work possibly or your well-being, right? That is the house of well-being. But there is something new for you. It could be definitely job or career related. Venus is in Virgo. And so Leo, Venus doesn't really like to be in Virgo. No, it doesn't. It is considered a fall. But Venus in Virgo, it is conjunct. Where am I with this? Venus in Virgo is in its home really because it's in the second house. So we can say that there is, there's something good going on here as well. But Venus in Virgo can indicate financial stability. Yeah, Venus in your for you because that is your second house. So maybe you are, it is the start of financial stability for you. And, that's always a good thing, isn't it? So we have Venus and it is conjuncting the South Node here. And this is asking you to release old loves or wounds from old loves, could be. Or if you've been self-critical or overthinking your relationships or maybe even things that have to do with financial stability, leave that alone. Yeah, don't continue with that. That's yeah, let that go. Yeah, and especially if there are relationships that are lacking affection. Sometimes Venus in Virgo, Virgo wants to be very practical, and Venus is just very loving. So there can be a clash right here. So if you have been dealing with, partners that are not very affectionate, just let them get to stepping, right? Because it's really important that we are affectionate with our partners. At least I feel it is, right? And so now we have the sun and it is trining Uranus. Where is the sun? And the sun is, where's the sun at? It is trining Uranus. I'm sorry, here's the sun in Virgo, of course. And it is trining Uranus right here. And this is stepping into your authentic self, Leo. And that's really important for you. I feel like that can be it's really important because Leo represents the sun and this is self-expression. This is who you are in the world as well. It is your own self-expression, kind of like your voice, but your creativity, but as it relates to you, right? And your self-identity. So that is really important for you. And you look like you are stepping into that with the sun trining Uranus. Here is the sun, and we see the trine here to Uranus, right? Stepping into this can be you stepping into your higher self, but definitely stepping into the real you, right? And being very authentic. And this is supporting a brighter future for you because this is your 11th house. So that's a good thing. Yeah, always be authentic because, we can't be somebody that we're not, right? If you've ever heard that song, I Gotta Be Me, you can go check it out. And Sammy Davis Jr. sings it. And he is saying, he said, whether I'm right or whether I'm wrong, and whether I find a place in this world or never belong, right? I got to be me. So he's being very authentic and he is saying how important it is for him and people who are close to him because how can he be right for somebody else if he's not even right for himself? Really important to be authentic to yourself and what your soul wants and what your heart really wants in this life. Yeah, and and this trine can support friendships. It can and innovation as well with your ideas and for the future, things like that. And so now we have the sun is trining Pluto, and this is again about your self-expression, Leo. Here's the sun, and here's Pluto down here. Once again about that, and this is. Step into your self-expression. There's much more power here, and that's what this trine is about. It's about your personal power and you're ready for a change, it looks like you definitely could be, especially when we have Uranus in your 11th house. So you're going to be experiencing change. Yeah, you definitely are. Um, because this is the house of the future and this is unexpected change. I feel like things are probably going to get better for you because, Uranus is about innovation in the end, right? In essence. But it can create a lot of instability along the way until you get there, right? Until you kind of reach it. And so with the moon trining Pluto here, and also with the sun trining Pluto, this you can help transform your relationships as well. Yeah, you definitely can. Maybe bringing a sense of freedom as well to them, but transforming and potentially making them better, right? Yeah. So we have the moon, excuse me, guys, the moon is trining Pluto now. And did I talk about that? I talked about the sun. And so this moon trining Pluto, your relationships can be very intense, maybe emotional, but yet secure. Yeah, they definitely can. Thinking, I mean, the trine can go another way. It could be, you are released maybe from a relationship, possibly. Um, let's see, I feel like this is in your seventh house. Let's have a look at it. Yeah, Pluto's in your seventh house of partnerships, and so this could end a relationship. It could too, because Pluto's about endings and new beginnings. But for some of you, you could be just transforming them and showing in the way that you show up in your relationships, right? It could be, um, and so you can meet somebody as well who is kind of shares your psychological views, possibly, and or has an understanding, uh, has a mutual understanding with you. But this can also be where you meet somebody and it is very intense. It's a very sexual or intense relationship. And we have the Uranus trining Pluto, and this last occurred in the 1920s, right? Uranus is in your 11th house of the future, social networks and innovation. And Uranus is bringing change. It is often unexpected in Gemini. And the new moon ruler is Mercury, and Uranus is in Gemini. So, yeah, this is, I was already saying this, right? It can be major transformation in your life. There could, over the next 7 years. Very interesting. For some of you guys, it could start now with the new moon in Virgo, right? It could be laying the groundwork, possibly for change, right? It could be. So now we have, and planting new seeds, of course. And this new moon can really influence your views on the world, Leo, and how to improve your own life. And you're not afraid. Yeah, a lot of personal power showing up for you, Leo. All right. So let's talk about Virgo now. And Virgo, your new moon, and this is a partial eclipse, right? A solar eclipse. Excuse me. So this is your new moon. You're planting something new for sure, or starting something new. If anybody is, excuse me, it would be you. And so the sun and the moon are both in your first house, and this is supporting your sense of self and aligning with your emotional self. So this is a really good feeling, who you are and emotional strength, basically. And so your natal Mercury is the ruler of the new moon. I hope if I've said anything in this video that, people are really understanding that. But your natal Mercury is the ruler of the new moon, and it's in your second house of finances and well-being and self-worth. So this could be, your well-being right now and your self-worth could it could be really growing here, and you are planting something new, and that is helping support that growth, right? This south node is helping you let go of something, also helping you to purge. And Virgo season is partially about purging, letting things go that don't work for us really, that are not efficient, right? Maybe they're outdated, but not necessarily, but they're just not working. And so Mercury is in Libra, and Libra can be about relationships here. You could maybe have a different idea about relationships, or a different attitude, not idea, but a different attitude or a different approach possibly to relationships, right? Um, but I feel like your natal ruler, kind of right here in your second house of finances and well-being is, I feel like it's bringing blessings to you. Yeah, there's a definite intelligence that has to do with relationships with Mercury in Libra, and Saturn is in your seventh house of relationships down here, and this is that's kind of an interesting thing because Saturn is teaching you to be realistic and possibly not too dreamy in your relationships because Pisces is, Neptune here, or we can say Jupiter really, but Pisces is the seventh house for you, right? And Pisces is about being dreamy and illusions and dreams and, fantasy and things like that. Very idealistic, like I want that to, happen for me. And if it doesn't, then, it's kind of a problem, right? So, yeah. And so this is teaching you not to be overly optimistic, or just a little bit more practical and serious about your relationships, right? You could be learning that. You could, with Mercury in Gemini, you definitely could be learning that. This can be definitely part of, the astrology here for you. for this new moon, right? And so, yeah, and so you're very aware of these themes too. You are Virgo. I feel like definitely you are with Mercury here in your house of well-being, and your new moon here, and you are purging things here with the South Node. Yeah, you're very aware of what you're doing and what's going on in your life here. I feel like you are probably uncovering, with the South Node in your first house, this can be uncovering past wounds, like really seeing the illusions behind the wounds, right? Or yeah, and so this is really helping you to move forward, right? And here we have the North Node here, and this is helping you if you are trusting your intuition, Virgo, about relationships. Yeah, that is a trip here, because this is in Pisces. So trust yourself. And maybe in the past you've been a little bit analytical about relationships. That can be the case here for some of you. Virgo is very analytical and sometimes to a fault, right? And that's where the criticism comes in, self-criticism or about others, right? And the need for perfectionism. We don't need perfect. We are perfect, right? We all have God in us. We're all part of God. We are divine beings. We just have to do a good job and quality, right? Yeah, that's it. So yeah, and so now you have Mercury, and it is trining Uranus. All right, Uranus is in your house of social status, career, and how the world sees you. Honestly, for you, Virgo, you could be, this is shaking up your 10th house. Sometimes this is social status. It can be a divorce. It could be, it can for some, right? Um, and even this Saturn sometimes in the seventh house can bring a restriction. It can bring, that can talk about a divorce in the seventh house. It sure can. Saturn is teaching us karmic lessons, right? It's also teaching us to be serious and committed, but they're in Pisces in your seventh house. Yeah, there could be, for some of you guys, could be, uh, becoming single. Maybe you're even getting married, right? Could be, but changing your social status, definitely, and how the world may see you, right? Your career right now, possibly here you are doing something much better in your career, like innovating. Maybe some of you are kind of working in technology, but this trine too can bring in some unexpected change that will change your whole world, right? Because Uranus is about unexpected change. Maybe you are gonna like end up, maybe you're gonna quickly marry somebody or quickly divorce somebody, something like that, right? It could be, right? These are just one of many things that can play out because this is a general reading. Yeah, it is. So it would depend on your own chart, right? Yeah, it would. Um, so yeah, your long-term goals can change right now with Uranus in your 10th house, and this trine should make it easier for you with these changes, or the way you think about the rest of your life can be changing with these long-term goals, right? Um, and so the MC, which is also about your career here, it is opposing Neptune in Aries, asking you to be clear. Yeah, asking you to be clear on like on really what you want in your career. Most likely, the MC also has to do. It is connected to the 10th house of social standing as well. This could be asking you to be clear about what you really want, and uh, with Neptune there, don't worry. Leave the worries behind. Just let it go because Neptune can, often kind of, make us worry here. But this is, and also Neptune brings in the confusion or the uncertainty is probably could be a better word. And this is the uncertainty and the confusion though from the fog, right? From, the fog that Pisces so represents, the fog over the sea, right? Yes, King Neptune and, and that. So, yeah, and so, the sun and the moon uh is conjunct with Mercury, and it's right here. They're all together, and they are working together. They definitely are. The Mercury's in the second house. I feel like I talked about that, but this is definitely once again encouraging you to be clear about intimate relationships, shared resources, definitely can be, and transformation. For sure, it can. and regeneration as well. So now we have Vesta, and here's Vesta. It is connected. It is associated with Libra. Yeah, it is associated with Libra. And so this is about dedication. It can be about devotion, but and harmony and things like that. And so here we have Vesta. It is the planet of dedication and harmony, but it is opposing Uranus and right across, right? And so Virgo, Uranus is once again in your 10th house of social standing and career and long-term goals. So this is encouraging you to act with self-love, yeah, with Vesta there, in order for you to feel free and liberated with your thoughts and your decisions, which will support your emotional well-being. And so now we have Venus is squaring Uranus. Where's Venus? Right here. All right. So Venus is squaring Uranus in your house again of social status. There's a lot going on with that house. There's a focus on personal independence. Your personal values could also be clashing. Remember, a square puts tension, right, to take action, you know. And so when we have that square with Venus and Uranus, your personal values can be clashing with your beliefs about your social status. In other words, there's kind of a push-pull going on between kind of what you believe in or what you want and your social status. It can be about your long-term goals. It can also have to do with your father. There could be some type of clashing view that clashing belief or something that is your father is involved in some way, or even, for some of you guys, it would be the memory of your father, right? Yeah, it could be. Um, and so yeah, and now we have your attitude toward love, Virgo. Venus squaring Uranus can bring intensified feelings as well, creating tension and pushing you to break free to honor those feelings. You see, it's kind of a repeat energy here. And yeah, and so now we have, um, yeah, and now we have Libra. All right, and I will be right back for Libra. All right, for Libra. Okay, let's see what we got, Libra. So the new moon is in your house of endings, mystery, and the unconscious mind. Yeah, so this is the 12th house here, the last house. And so you definitely are letting something go, Libra. Um, Maybe you're trying to let go of past wounds here because the 12th house is associated with that. And we also have this south node. But on a brighter note, right? Um, this is also the house of intuition, the 12th house, right? Yours just happens to be ruled by Mercury. And so the 12th house of intuition is definitely helping you, right? And this is also compassion, self-compassion, and for others as well. This is about idealism, being very idealistic about what you want, dreams, illness, therapy, doubts and fears, and confusion. So the 12th house it's a mysterious house. It is the house of illness, but it is also the house of transcendence, right? The ability to overcome all of that spiritually. And so there's a healing component. The 12th house is also about healing. And Virgo is about health. You could definitely be trying to leave something behind that is purging something, but there's something new for you here, but it looks like it requires an ending of sorts. Yeah, it does. All right, so something new is going to allow you to release something, or vice versa. Something you release will allow you to have something new, right? And so, did that make sense? I hope so. Yeah. So, natal Venus is in that house right here in the 12th house. And very interesting because Venus in that house is not in good dignity, but Venus in Virgo, excuse me, not necessarily the house, but Venus in Virgo, in the sign of Virgo, is not in good dignity. And it is considered in fall, right? And so Venus is very uncomfortable there because of Virgo's over discernment and like it can be criticism, right? Maybe you are in a relationship where you feel kind of criticized by somebody. That could be the case. You might be letting go of a relationship here, possibly. Um, yeah, and so Venus is encouraging you to drop something, though. It is. Maybe it's about, it can be that you're not trying to get rid of a relationship, or it could be an aspect of yourself, but it can be just something psychological, right? It could. That is the 12th house is very psychological. Yes, it is. And so Venus is squaring Uranus in your house of faith, philosophy, and expansion, pushing you to really believe in yourself and to have more self-love. It does. We all need this, right? There can be tension between your subconscious needs, Libra, and your beliefs. Yeah, I mean, I feel like you're probably not the first person to have that, right? And this could be where you have a desire to break free from an old thought pattern or a way of thinking that you feel might have repressed you in the past, right? And this new moon, Libra, can help you to process and release family wounds because the new moon is in Virgo, and this is definitely the South Node can be about past wounds, especially in the 12th house. I feel like I said that, right? The 12th house can be about the past and also about family wounds. It sure can, because it is connected to illusions and wounds itself, right? So, um, yeah, and these can be even old memories you might be maybe holding on to, possibly. Um, but it could be consciously, but it could be somewhat unconscious, right? Yeah, because that South Node here in your 12th house, that can be like seeing those identifying, these past illusions or wounds that are kind of hindering us. Yeah, it definitely can. So Venus is helping you to let go of something with that South Node. That's a good thing. And so, you could feel emotionally much better, Libra, as you release something, right? The moon is trining Uranus. This can be very inspiring for you, an inspiring time, or you're experiencing intuitive insights that may come as breakthroughs. Yeah, that can happen right there too. This is in your ninth house. There could be expansion for you, definitely, but only after some type of chaos, right? And that could be going on here. Um, and Mercury is in your first house, right? So Mercury is the ruler of the new moon, but now Mercury is in your first house as well. So there's definitely a connection here with either communication or thoughts and things like that, decisions and choices, the way you think about things. There's definitely a connection here, or there's a theme, right? There's like kind of an ongoing theme here. And we have Mars also in your sign here. We're going to get back to the sun and the moon over here in just a minute, but we have Mars in your sign. There could be arguments and, maybe power struggles in a relationship. It's a possibility. And this could be that right now you're experiencing maybe legal issues, right? Yeah, I don't like to, talk too much about that, but it's a possibility. But what we have here really is Mars is asking you as well to take action on something that is related to you. That's your first house, like your identity or your life period, your life, right? How you drive your life, things like that. But it's very personal. And this can also be partial. This could be that, you are in a relationship that is super or with somebody that's super passionate, sexual and things like that. But I feel like you are the 29th degree is the same degree for Mars as it is for the moon here. So this is you. You're being asked to release something for sure, but to complete something first before you actually start something new. That's how that looks right there. It can be very psychological. As I said, the 12th house is psychological. This can be about your thoughts. Mercury is also about your thoughts. There can be things bothering you as well. Maybe they are relationship related. But there's some good things here because we have the moon trining Uranus, this could be very inspiring. I feel like I mentioned that, right? We have the moon, very inspiring and also very like transformative, or as I said, you could receive breakthroughs, right? And this can be also like how to improve, so how to improve something in your life. And it could be by the way of, it could be to help make it grow. That is the ninth house where Uranus sits. Yeah, so it could be to help expand something. But there is some, it looks like there is some type of instability going on there. Definitely. You're definitely going through change. All endings are a little bit unstable, aren't they? Right? And so you have that going on. But, Virgo is helping you to plant a new seed. So that's very cool. So this is very, for me, this is futuristic, right? Yeah, this is something very good for you. Jupiter is in your 10th house, and that is supporting your career, supporting your own personal leadership, right? And even, maybe, helping you to expand or grow. That has to do with maybe social status, right? It can be social status, can be a retirement, you're graduating, you're getting a divorce, you're getting married, all that stuff is like social status. You're getting a master's degree, things like that. And you could be doing that for yourself right here. You could be trying to, right here with Jupiter in your 10th house. I know a Libran who is taking like a major course in the afternoon after she, after work here for her. So this is definitely helping her. And so, and yeah, and so we have the moon, and that is trining Neptune, and it's down here. Neptune's over here. So, this is the axis of the couple, the partner, and the self with Aries. That is the axis there. And so, this is about you, Libra, needing to kind of merge these energies, like to meet your own spiritual needs and your practical needs both. Because it looks like there's something here, maybe that is, has not been maybe good enough in a way, even because Virgo wants everything to be good and to work and to, it's about systems, right? And processes and things like that. It wants things to work. It doesn't want to leave details out. It's about efficiency and perfection. So there's something that you want to, maybe a relationship, but something you want definitely to work better. Yeah. And you're planting a new seed here. And maybe it has to do with career with Jupiter there. Um, yeah, and so this opposition, though, could be a little bit challenging because there might be a misunderstanding, and maybe you are feeling a little uncertain with Neptune down here, right? Um, but you're being asked really to kind of to create a balance here, with your particular needs, both that are, practical needs and your own personal needs, your spiritual needs, right? That are feeding your spirit basically, and your emotional intelligence, your not intelligence, your emotional health as well. Mercury is in your first house, and I told you that right here. And so this is your sign, your first house, right? Because so excuse me, this is how we do it here. I beg your pardon, you guys. Right, in your own chart. This is a general reading, but in the general reading we are using sun, moon, and rising. But usually the rising first, the sun second, and the moon lastly, right? But they're all kind of fitting in there. They are. Um, but Mercury is in your first house in your sign. And so this is giving you major clarity here. You might have a lot of ideas here about yourself right now, or about your life, or about anything I've been talking about. Mercury is the intelligence, but it is supporting you there. Yeah, it is. Um, yeah, very interesting. It is supporting you there, and it is conjunct with the sun and the moons here. So you're kind of being asked to not be overly emotional, but to kind of blend uh, and merge these energies, emotional energies, and also your leadership, or the sense of yourself, like your social personality or even career, but your intelligence and your emotional intelligence, if you will. You're being asked to like merge those, right, and complete something before the sun and the moon both move um, into Libra, into your first house, which is very interesting. So there's something coming here. There's something you're supposed to do before your birthday. Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, I feel like it is. So, and Mercury, a lot going on for you, Libra, as Mercury is the ruler of the first house. And when it shows up in of the new moon, and when it shows up in your first house, yeah, that's big. So, uh, yeah, and so we have this could be about your goals and your plans and your goals as well when we have Mercury here. Um, it can be for some of you plans and goals. You may have plans and goals to maybe marry somebody or, about a relationship, but this is the intelligence that is really helping you here. And the moon and the sun are supporting that intelligence for sure. All right, so and so Mars is sextiling your natal Venus. So where is Mars? Right here. A sextile is an opportunity, but it's only an opportunity if we take it. Yeah, sometimes we don't always see it either. This is why we are supposed to be very mindful and, kind of paying attention and being present in your everyday life, right? As opposed to kind of rushing around and I don't know, cutting that short and cutting that short, or just maybe, like not being present, right? I can give you an example. I used to go, when I visit my granddaughters, I would usually work. And the last time I went there, I noticed that both of them were a little disappointed in me because, I don't go very often. So, so I've, promised myself and them really, but that I would be more mindful and more present, right? And so that's what that is about, right? Yeah, and so Mars is sextiling your natal Venus in your house of endings. Once again, there's an opportunity to create or maintain a balanced, cooperative dynamic in a relationship. There is an opportunity to do that with probably, most likely with the new moon here. That is what is supporting this, right? The new moon is planting a new seed. There's always something new coming. It could take up to a year and a half sometimes because this is an eclipse, right? Now we have Mars. It's squaring Pluto. And Mars is in your first house, and let's see where Pluto is. I think it's in your fifth house of love. Yeah, it is. Here we have it's in your fifth house of love and romance, children, self-expression, and creativity. And you're feeling some type of tension there. There could be, this can be about your relationship where there is tension possibly in your relationship, and you feel like you need to do something about it. That could be going on there. But the square is pushing you to take action, to create some type of harmony, because that's really what you are always seeking, Libra. That is the whole, yeah, and that's why the scales are here, kind of to even things out. That is, your main purpose is to always maintain harmony and balance. And so, with Pluto in the fifth house, it may be pushing you to change something or to transform. This can help you with your personal power if you are dealing with kind of struggles, like power struggles in a relationship. But never fear, your birthday's coming, and so yeah, everything is well usually when the sun is in your sign. All right. So let's move on to Scorpio. And Scorpio, the new moon is in your 11th house of the future. Yes, it is. Social networks and technology and innovation. This is also the house of unexpected change. It can. And this is why we call it the house of the future sometimes, right? So natal Mars, this is your natal Mars here, is urging you to complete something, as is the new moon in the new moon in Virgo is asking you to in your 12th house. I mean, this is your 11th house of the future. I beg your pardon, but still it's asking you to complete something. And Mars is in your 12th house, also asking you to take action on something or to have courage about something, Scorpio. I find that Scorpios typically are, they can have courage. They definitely can because Pluto is about power, right? And Mars is about courage. Yes, it is about courage and drive, right? So this is your ancient ruler, but this is more, Mars is more resonating with you, Scorpio, because Pluto is a generational planet. So when we see Pluto, it can affect all of us, right? Yeah. So, um, yeah, hold on one second. Let me plug this in. I thought this was plugged in. All right, thank you. Yeah, we need that to be plugged in on these long videos. Yeah. So, all right. So so natal Mars is urging you to complete something or let something go. It's at 29 degrees of Libra, so it could be for you, Scorpio, a relationship, or maybe your approach or your attitude toward relationships could be you could feel like it may be that something was never fair for you, it's possible, or balanced, that's right, and you need to kind of, I don't know, take some type of action, right, to remedy that situation. That's a possibility. And Mars in the 12th house can talk about anger. It definitely can. um where am I here? And repressed anger, because it's in the 12th house. And so that's never a good thing. No, it's not. Repressed anger, possibly in your relationships where there can be power struggles. I was talking about that with Libra too, where there can be power struggles. And Mars is giving, there's an opposition as it sextiles Venus. No, that's what? What is this here? I beg your pardon, you guys. Mars is um, as Mars sextiles Venus, and this is kind of asking you use your drive to create harmony, or your courage, right, to create harmony through service, or it's in Virgo, or by being helpful within a relationship. Yeah, that's kind of an interesting dynamic. Mars is squaring Pluto. This is your other planet, as I was saying. You may be trying to transform something in your private life, right? Yeah, you could definitely be trying to do that. Um, and in your definitely in your emotional life, that's showing up in your fourth house of home and family and emotional security. There's a lot going on here for you, Scorpio. I can tell, right? There is good news though. The sun is trining Pluto in your fourth house, and that is the house I mentioned of home and family. Could be where you live, maybe you're moving, could be. Um, but it can also be your emotional security, as I said. But this trine is giving you the power and a belief in yourself, Scorpio, that you can handle basically kind of whatever is coming your way, or um, you can handle a relationship, you can handle challenges with that Mars in your 12th house, and yeah, and the new moon as well, uh, because the new moon is asking you to let something go, right? Purge something. And so we have the moon trining Pluto, and there's an emotional transformation here. You're able to see things, possibly uh, possibly in a relationships, but you're able to see things in a very like powerful and rational way, which is excellent, right? Mars is opposing Chiron. Here's Chiron, and Chiron is about our insecurities, our vulnerabilities. It can be health matters. It can. Usually this is usually it's psychological, but it can be physical as well. And it's about healing as well, and it can be healing through reflection. Yeah, major reflection. And so here um, we have Mars opposing Chiron in your house of health and work and daily life. So this is very interesting here. Here you are here, and Chiron's over here in your sixth house. And so Virgo here, this is associated to the new moon as well, because the energy Virgo rules the sixth house in a natural chart. But there is a connection here. Mars rules your sixth house. So there's a lot going on here for you. And so you're being asked to let something go and trust yourself. And so, and to heal something about yourself with Chiron there, that affects your emotional well-being and your life in general. Yeah, or your lifestyle even. And so Jupiter is in your ninth house. Here's Jupiter. And so Jupiter loves the ninth house. It's at home in the ninth house. And these are all about your spiritual beliefs, your philosophy on life. There's a lot of growth and expansion for you. There definitely is when we see Jupiter in the ninth house. It's in Cancer. And, this is your emotional stability could really be like expanding, growing, or, improving, things like that when we see Jupiter here. There's a lot going on here for in the ninth house for you. And so you could be traveling too. You could be studying something new with Jupiter there. And so Jupiter is asking you, though, Scorpio, to believe and have faith. Yeah, it is. And Jupiter is also conjoined with the vertex. This is fated encounters. And, Scorpios usually really kind of understand that stuff, right? I mean, it's innate with you, with all of us it is, but more so with the water signs, yeah. Um, right? Scorpio is the mystic and the psychic and things like that, as is Pisces and Cancer as well. Yeah. So especially Pisces and Cancer. Yeah. I mean Pisces and Scorpio. So here we have this Jupiter here. Yeah, faded and also um, fated encounters can develop and grow into something very beautiful. You can meet somebody here. The vertex is usually associated with relationships. It doesn't have to be, but it's in your house of home and family, so there could be something there. I feel like there's a lot of emotional growth for you, though. Yeah, with Jupiter in Cancer, and that's always a good thing. Yes, it is. And I don't care how old you are. You could be 60, right? And so, just really growing. And so, yeah. And so this has to do with your true potential as well. It does. Yeah, it does, Scorpio. All right, so thank you. And let's move on now to Sagittarius. And the Virgo new moon is in your 10th house of career, social status, achievement, discipline, and hard work, the father or father figures, and long-term goals. And so Virgo is about work, health, and service and daily obligations. So there could be something definitely like you're planting a new seed that can be related to your work. Maybe it is also affecting your daily life. Some of us work at home. Even it can still affect your daily life, if you are changing your job, things like that. Um, but this is about health and service as well. The new moon is asking you to be practical and act from your heart. Yeah, and Sagittarius is usually pretty good at that, right? Both the sun and the moon are at 29 degrees Sagittarius, and what house is that in for you? That is, yeah, in your 10th house of career and social standing or social status, and that's asking you to complete something likely related to work. So could be health, right? But you could be like completing something. You might be changing your work a little bit, but you could be asked to complete something first, and that, only you would know what that would be, right? Maybe you need to finish a contract with somebody, right? Some type of employment contract or, freelance contract. You need to complete it before you move into something new. That could be the case here. Um, yeah, and you could also be, maybe you're dealing with a health situation, possibly, and that could be the case here. And you are maybe you still need to kind of self-heal, or it's a possibility because that is in Virgo. Yeah, it is. Um, mm-hmm. And so we have the Pisces Sagittarius for you. We have the Pisces and Virgo axis that I was talking about. I should say Virgo and Pisces because the Virgo new moon is on Sunday, and that's what this is about. But this is very much related to Pisces. Pisces, and this is, I would say this is Jupiter that rule. This is the ancient ruler for Pisces is Jupiter. But I feel like, this here is about, this is the health axis, and I was talking about that earlier. So it's possible here that something emotional, like, or your emotional growth is really helping you in your work. You could be seeing past patterns as well, Sagittarius, illusions or past wounds possibly, but unconscious patterns. Sometimes the fourth house is about that. It is in Pisces for you. These are both about unconscious patterns. And it is helping for you to see those and understand that. It is helping you move into your true potential or your true purpose, things like that, right? And maybe that true purpose is, maybe it has to do with the occult or, Piscean themes, right? Yeah, it could be. Um, but there could be a healing here for you as well, Sagittarius. Um, yeah, physical or psychological. There definitely could be because these are, really angular houses as well. The 10th house, the fourth and the 10th are like, there's four houses with the angular houses, and the fourth and the 10th are two of those angular houses that are super important, right? That, explain the themes in our life, right? Wherever our fourth house, wherever it falls, whatever sign it falls into, right? And things like that. So yours is ruled here by Jupiter, with Pisces here. And maybe some astrologers may say this is Neptune, as ruling, but Neptune is the modern ruler, but Neptune is more of a generational planet. So it's kind of a mix there. It is. And so now we have, um, yeah, you might have new work and new ideas, definitely, because remember, this is the 10th house and it is in Virgo about work as well. Venus is also in your 10th house. Venus could be bringing you more money, Sagittarius. It could, because Venus rules the second house of earned income and finances. That could be bringing you more money right there. Um, yeah, it definitely could. And this could be asking you to discern with Venus here in your 10th house could be asking you to be very Virgoan and kind of discern your relationships, or or maybe how to maybe improve your finances, or your well-being. It can be your well-being, your self-esteem. There's something you're letting go. It could be related to the father or the mother. Maybe the south node is here in your 10th house, and down here we have the fourth house being highlighted as well with these oppositions. Saturn is also being opposed here. Um, but let's talk about Mercury as we move across, so to speak. But here's Mercury, and Mercury is in your 11th house of the future. So you know what you want, Sagittarius, most likely, or you are very much analyzing that. I feel like you know what you want, and it's most likely career related here, or long-term goals. It could be because of the new moon being in the 10th house. Mercury is also trining. Where's Mercury? Right here. It is trining Uranus here, and Uranus is in Gemini. And this, what house is that in? Allowing change to happen quickly and most often favorably. Yeah, with trines are usually favorable, not 100% of the time, but let's see where Uranus falls. I feel like that is in your seventh house. Yeah, it is. So this could be change and maybe instability with relationships possible. But this can be, unexpected change. It's a trine. I feel like there's something good going on for you here. Um, yeah, and so Mercury is also trining or opposing Neptune, rather. And Neptune is next to right here, conjunct with Saturn. But the Mercury, opposition here is asking you to be clear and intelligent with your ideas and your plans and your goals, Sagittarius, and to include the creative aspect, the idealistic quality of Neptune, basically. But to avoid illusions and self-deception. This is a balance, right? Be a little realistic here, but don't throw out the creative aspect, or I believe in this. This can happen for me, because Neptune is about being idealistic, but sometimes a little uncertain and doubtful. So yeah, so trust in yourself there. Neptune is in your house of pleasure, romance, and children. Here it is. This is the fifth house, is also associated, excuse me, you guys, with teaching children. Yeah, teaching children, recreational activity. And when we talk about creativity, we talk about self-expression as well, the fifth house. So this is about recreational activity as well, and entertainment. It's your fun house, your pleasure house. And Neptune is there right now. This can be about you being very creative about your love life. Could be, you could be more compassionate toward lovers. That could be the case, or just about love itself, maybe. Um, yeah, and so here we have natal Jupiter. Here's your natal Jupiter, and it is conjunct the vertex. The vertex is usually about relationships, but not all the time. It is encountered, fated encounters, and so fate, right? Basically, and so yeah, this can help you really grow and expand some type of fated endeavor, or fated encounter, I should say. that comes into your life. It could be definitely related to your endeavors because Jupiter is here helping you to expand, right? Yes, and mhm. And this is in your eighth house, I believe. Let's see, yeah, a Sagittarius, that's in your eighth house. Here you are down here. So this can definitely be about relationships. Um, yeah, and this is your house. It's happening in your house of intimate relationships, shared resources, um, and shared resources can be, the money you make from your job, your boss is writing your check, but it can be, dual bank accounts and 401ks and like pensions and mutual funds, all those type of things, right? Tax refunds and bonuses. So, Jupiter is in that house. That's really good luck for you right there. Yeah, it is. It can be helping you to expand your whole idea of intimate relationships. Maybe it's you are kind of, you could be just growing like your attitude about that kind of emotional attitude there possibly, and you might be traveling too. That could be the case here, and this is showing up in the eighth house. Maybe you're traveling. You could be traveling with an intimate partner possibly. You could also be learning something, Sagittarius. Yeah. um, you might be learning something, studying something. You could, right? Yeah. And this is expanding. It definitely could be expanding your mind. You could be learning about the occult, right? Hear me talking about, I'm a Sag, and hear me talking about astrology. That is the occult. The eighth house is also about occult, the occult. Yeah, it is. So maybe that is exactly what you are doing right now, right? Maybe you're studying, and you could actually fall into that possibly here, fall into something of the occult and of, by way of some type of fated encounter, right? You could be watching astrology maybe and then realize and that it was fated to watch that, and then now you want to be an astrologer. I mean, it could be something like that as well, right? There's a lot to that. There can be. And so, yeah, and this is also associated with your higher purpose because I have here the vertex trining the North Node. Yeah, I believe that also, so is Jupiter here. So this is trining the North Node. Let's look here. Let's see here if it is. Okay, let's look here. No, it is actually Jupiter that is trining the North Node. All right, so this is about your higher purpose, and there's like good luck here for you to like kind of attain that. Things can happen quite easy for you to like move into your true purpose, your higher purpose, becoming your best self, things like that, right? Yeah, so let's go ahead and uh, all right, here we are. Okay, so yeah, and this is going to depend on your chart, Sagittarius. It is your own natal chart, right? And so let's talk about Capricorn now. And Capricorn, this new moon is in your ninth house of spirituality, of philosophy, and higher education. And so here it is. And this is about faraway travel. It can be growth and expansion. And this is the house of what is meaningful for you, like what you really believe in, and what is something that can be very expansive for you, something even where you feel like you might be able to grow, right, and expand there. There's something new with those themes for you, Capricorn. I feel like that's very good for you. Mercury is in your house of career. This is the 10th house right here. Mercury in the 10th house is a great place. This is you understanding what you need to do about your career. You could have plans and goals, new ideas, things like that. And this can also be, it's in your 10th house, but it's in Libra. So maybe you have, plans and goals within a relationship or for a relationship. That could be the case here. And this can also be about Mercury as a Libra. This can be about you understanding some type of legal aspect, or, that is, uh, or you're seeing a way. You could also be seeing a way to create balance in your life with Mercury in Libra. Excuse me. All right, and so now we have the Mercury. There is the ruler of the north of the new moon. We know that, and the south node is here, asking you. this is your ninth house asking you to let go of something that is no longer associated with your growth or your expansion. Like it's not helping you at all, it's hindering you. So you've got to let something go there. You may, right? Depends on your own chart, really. But um, these can be childhood wounds. Excuse me. They might be childhood wounds, Capricorn, or just past wounds. It could even be wounds from a past life, if you believe in that. Family wounds, even. Can be related to the mother even, so the South Node, or anybody in the family really. And health issues can be healed here. You could be really starting a new health regimen, or just you can heal with this kind of a placement here with the new moon in Virgo. Virgo is about health, and the South Node can be about letting things go that that might have been hindering you, right? Um, Yeah, hindering you emotionally, but there's like a healing here for you, Capricorn. For some of you who may need that, right? Excuse me. Yeah, and since we have the South Node in Virgo, this can be health matters can be healed naturally, right? Because Virgo, it's an earth sign, right? So we can use natural remedies to do that. Yeah, you might be able to help yourself in that way, right? Or for maintenance or something, or a health regimen for you. Mercury is here and it is trining Uranus right over here. And so for you, this is Uranus is in your sixth house of work, health, and daily obligations, and very connected to the new moon because Virgo rules the sixth house, right? It happens, excuse me. Yeah, and this is also Mercury rules your ninth house and it rules your sixth house as well, right? Mercury rules two houses for everybody because it is Mercury, I mean, Virgo and Gemini are sharing Mercury. So there's clarity with intelligent ideas for you, Capricorn. This can help you usher in change and improvement, maybe related to your health, right? Could be related to health or work. There's a lot going on here about that. It seems like there's a theme here, maybe, about health. Could be the health of anything. Sometimes it is the health of a relationship, your physical health, your psychological health. Could be anything. It really could or any type of health, right? We also have financial health. Yes, we do, right? Yeah, we do here. And so, yeah, we have natal Saturn and it is trining the vertex. Here's Saturn and here is the vertex here. The vertex is in which house? The vertex is in your seventh house of relationships. Let me make sure that is correct. Yeah, it is. So, you could actually, with the trine here, you could meet somebody, or something fated can happen. You might meet somebody just very unexpected, possibly because I have Uranus as well, sextiling Saturn here. So, Saturn, with this trine, though, let's have a look at that trine, and see what it is talking about here. Um, where are we on this? Yeah, so the natal Saturn is trining vertex, you guys, in Cancer. Yeah, and so this means that a fated encounter could bring a soulmate into your life. Karmic lessons can be learned, Capricorn, and that can bring emotional growth, right? Those are the only kind of lessons that teach us, right? Not, the great ones where everything's all smooth and peachy. No, we don't learn that way. Nobody does, right? Yeah, and so but this, karmic lessons can bring you emotional growth and personal expansion, which is great because we also have Jupiter right here, right? Now, let's go back here. And so now we see Jupiter conjoining the vertex, right? And so, yeah, again, that's what I was saying. You could meet somebody and that could really help you grow emotionally, or you could just expand your love life, right? It doesn't always have to be growing emotionally, but you could, really expand your life. It's a possibility there. And this can also be, this is in your seventh house, but maybe you are traveling here, or maybe you meet somebody when you are traveling because Jupiter is about travel as well. That's very interesting. Yeah. Um, or when you're learning something, you could be learning something here that is very fated to help you expand and grow. And so now we have Saturn, and that is opposing the Sun. Basically, is opposing Saturn. Where are we? We're with Capricorn, aren't we? Yeah. I hope I didn't say Sagittarius. So we are. I beg your pardon, you guys. A little bit of a long video here. It is. I didn't know it was going to be this long. No, I didn't. But we have the Sun right here, and that is opposing Saturn in the third house. This is your third house of plans and goals, information processing, paperwork. It can be about decisions and choices, right? Also, siblings and everything that is familiar to you, the local neighborhood, uh, friends, neighbors, the local community, anything that is very familiar to you. Um, and so you could feel challenged between when we have this opposition, the opposition wants you to merge energies. There's a challenge there. Excuse me, you might feel challenged between your own self-expression and your true sense of self, and your need for discipline or achievement or hard work. That could be going on there, right? It could be about maybe you feel challenged about your goals, but maybe they're not exactly aligning with your true self or it can be something like that, or you feel like you need to achieve some goals, but maybe challenged as to your creativity or your sense of yourself, right? Your self-expression. Mars is here at 29 degrees. And remember, Mars is here at this 29 degrees for, all of us, but it is asking you to complete something as the new moon, excuse me, in your ninth house is asking you to complete something, maybe I'm not sure what that is, but we talked about it a little bit. I feel like we did, but this is in your ninth house of expansion. And so with that, this could be asking you to complete a study course, possibly, because the ninth house is about studying and, learning. Um, it can be about a lot of things, but it's asking you to complete something here. It could be related to um, your expansion in some way, right? I feel like there's a theme here about that has to do with your personal expansion today, right? With the new moon. But Mercury is helping you here, definitely, with its intelligence. And so Mars is at 29 degrees at the anaretic degree. Is very powerful here. It's pushing for you to complete something. And here it is in Libra asking you to complete something. And this is in your 10th house, in your 10th house of career and social standing. You might need to, I don't know if you need to finish a contract, a work contract. You may be asked to kind of complete something or maybe let something go here also. When we say complete, sometimes it means let go, right? Sometimes it means there's work to be done, but something's ending here and pushing you. And it might be about a relationship here in Libra. It could be, right? And I mean, with Libra here in your 10th house, you could feel like maybe, I mean, with Mars in your 10th house, you could feel like things are just like maybe chaotic, or just kind of uh, just maybe chaotic, maybe even a struggle here possibly that has to do with your work. Maybe you need to let go of some type of a struggle, because here we have Virgo, and Virgo, the new moon, is about decluttering. It's also about being of service, but letting things go right now that for something new that don't help us, that don't help us to be more efficient, that don't help us, with our lives, our daily lives, that don't support our health, that don't support the work that we do as well, and don't support our daily life, which is really important, right? The nitty gritty of making our life work. Everybody has uh, their own like daily obligations that have to be met, right? Yeah, definitely. And so or your lifestyle, right? That you need to support you. And so now we have Mars, and this is it is the planet of war, but we'll call it the planet of action and passion. Yeah. This is about drive as well, and courage. It can be about sex as well. Mars is really about anger and passion and action. It's kind of it, right? And so here we have Mars, and Mars is opposing Chiron and Aries. So Mars is in Libra. This is the axis of the couple, the relationship, and Aries is about the self. So there's something that you need with this opposition. There's a little bit of a challenge there. There could be an opportunity, though, for you to heal an old wound by confronting it with Chiron here. By really dealing with it head on, it could be physical or psychological, but you are supposed to kind of it's could be telling you, and just go ahead and take this head on and have the courage and the drive, right? Sometimes we have the courage, but maybe not the drive. This could help you heal something, Capricorn, physical or psychological. It definitely could be. And so now we have, yeah, and by doing that, you can really liberate yourself. You can and free yourself, physically or psychologically. Yeah. So here we have Aquarius, and let's talk about this, Aquarius. The new moon is in your eighth house, and this is the house of transformation, and regeneration. This is the house of intimate relationships, shared monies, and resources. And shared monies are anything. It can be your paycheck, but it can be, stocks and 401ks and bonuses, or the money, the dual bank account you have with a partner or something like that. Even a business partner. But this is the eighth house can be about business as well. It's also about real estate. It can. And property, this is kind of other people's, it just can be about real estate. Um, yeah, because anything that is connected to resources and money, right? And so now we have the occult. It's also about the occult. So Aquarius, the moon is showing up in your house of occult. This could be you, um, maybe, maybe transforming something, maybe work. Maybe you want to do some work that is of the occult. That could be going on here. Um, But there's something new with those themes, yeah, and you could be planting a seed with that. It could be work related. It can definitely be because we're in Virgo here, right? Or health related, or can also have to do with perhaps your daily routine, right? And so this is in your eighth house, but it can. And so this is also about analyzing, right? And reorganizing here in Virgo and decluttering. And so this is also about being of service. So this could be saying too that, maybe you can plant a new seed about maybe being more helpful in a relationship. It's possible. That can be about that. hmm but you're definitely planting a new seed for the future. There could be new work there. And so, but the sun opposing Saturn, I feel like I said that, the sun opposing Saturn is challenging you, Aquarius, to see something perhaps about the money you earn or the money you share. Yeah, see, that is what is the focus here? It's asking you to be realistic. Here's Saturn here. So, when we have the sun opposing Saturn, this is like you need to really see something and be clear and be realistic about it. Yeah, definitely. And let's see where and that is in your second house, Aquarius. So this is your second house of earned money where Saturn is sitting. You might feel restricted in a way, possibly, with the money that you earn, or maybe your finances right now. The opposition will definitely switch. Yeah, I mean, not switch, but the moon moves very quickly, and the sun is, I believe, opposing that too. So these are moving very quickly. So this opposition, you might not feel it that much, or for very long here. Um, but there could be a need to approach your financial stability and maybe your achievement as well. There could be a need to approach that kind of. Um, Approach your stability, your financial, like versus your own identity, your self identity, like who you are, basically. Um, and to trust your intuition and with your also with your practical nature, and that is in Virgo, right? hmm Addressing unconscious patterns can help to free you, Aquarius, for sure. And these matters need to be seen and accepted. Yes, they do. And so the new moon can also bring you new work. I feel like I have mentioned that, but healing, maybe work with healing, possibly. Um, yeah, the new moon can also bring you new work. And let's have a look at that. And so we have, this is in your ninth house. Yeah, but it's in Virgo. So Yeah, you could be planting a seed for a new job possibly here. One where maybe you can grow and expand, right? Because let's see here, this is in your eighth house here. Um, yeah, but one where you can maybe make more money too. The eighth house is also a house of money. There's some things that you do need to leave behind here, and they have to do with things that have been hidden deep in the in the psyche, right here with the South Node in Virgo, in that ninth house, in that eighth house rather. I beg your pardon, in the eighth house. Yeah, and so I feel like you are able to see those, or you're going to be able to see those unconscious patterns, and maybe you are coming into work that is about healing or therapy, maybe even spiritual, possibly. Um, but yeah, this is, maybe you are some type of, you could even be a spiritual healer here, um, maybe even astrology, right? Because that is the eighth house for you. And so spiritual grounding is possible right now, Aquarius, through service and also through self-compassion. So it's really important that you be self-compassionate here. Yeah, the Sun in Virgo can help you analyze, and Saturn in Pisces, we have the opposition as well. It's asking you to merge those, right? Saturn in Pisces is helping you see the reality of a situation. Yeah, especially in Pisces. Yeah, because with Pisces, sometimes we are often uncertain. So Saturn steps in and says, hey, kind of, you look at this in a very realistic way, because Pisces wants to look at things through the eyes of love and compassion, and anything is possible, and fantasy and illusion as well. Very idealistic, which can be good, but only to a certain degree, right? So Saturn is there. I feel like you are being asked to trust your intuition here, but this is going to help you see the reality of a situation, Aquarius, but through the eyes of compassion, and also create creatively, like in this way where maybe I can, find a solution. But it is definitely helping you to see things very intuitively, right? Or your intuition will help you to understand this, right? Whatever that is going on there. Spiritual grounding is possible there. It is though. And so now we have Venus. It's squaring your natal Uranus right here, and this indicates tension between your stability, Aquarius, financial, or in a relationship, and your desire for freedom and innovation, or freedom and independence, possibly, or feeling like you can improve or change something. And you might feel conflicted between commitment and unexpected change, or instability as well. That could be going on. And Mercury is trining your Uranus here, and here is Mercury here. Uranus is down here, and this is the ruler of the new moon is in your ninth house. Um, Aquarius, let's have a look at that. Is that your ninth house? I don't believe, I feel like this is your eighth house. The ruler of the new moon is, let's have a look at that. Oh, no, this is the ninth house. Yeah, this is the ruler of the new moon. Yes, it is Mercury. Mercury rules Virgo. And so this is in your ninth house of faith and philosophy, travel and higher education, higher realms, right? This is about expansion and growth, and you're understanding something and seeing something with wisdom. That's what you're doing right here with Mercury in the ninth house, and that is very good. This can also be about you being able to expand your world with your ideas. Yeah, with your ideas, your thoughts, and goals and things like that. Um, and so, yeah, it's a time where you are understanding something with wisdom related to business or relationships. And this is fostering innovation and inspiring breakthroughs for you, Aquarius. Yeah, you guys are about breakthroughs. You definitely can be, because Uranus is about that. Yeah. And so let's move on to Pisces. And last but not least, Pisces, we just came out of the Pisces full moon, and those eclipses can last up to a year and a half. So right now we're dealing with the Pisces Virgo axis, right? Which is about health. It is about also merging our practical ideas and the practicality and the grounding in life with the compassion and intuition, kind of merging the practical world with the spiritual world. That's really what it is, because you cannot depend on one. You cannot live in the practical world without your spiritual needs, spiritual beliefs, and without having spiritual needs being met. It just doesn't work out like that. We have to trust our intuition as well, because this is like the kind of the cornucopia of both, right? So that is what's going on for you as part of the theme here. And the new moon and the sun, right, is in your seventh house of partnerships. Let's go ahead and refresh this. And your partnership, your house of relationships, this can be intimate or business, but this seventh house of relationships, let's have a look here. Yeah, is ruled by Mercury, and this is, we're in the Mercury new moon, but Mercury is also in Libra here. So Libra is about relationships. There's a big theme here about Pisces, maybe, looking at relationships in a brand new way. There's probably something you may need to release here with this South Node in your house of relationships related to past wounds, maybe wounds in relationships, possibly. But Mercury is now in the eighth house of intimate relationships for you. And so with Mercury there, Mercury is telling you basically how to drive your relationships. These are, being very intelligent about your intimate relationships. It definitely is. You could be looking at things kind of a little bit practical at the same time, which is a good thing for Pisces, right? Because I was talking about how important it is to merge the practical with the spiritual, right? With grounding and intuition and things like that, to merge those because we are spiritual beings, but we're having a practical kind of a physical experience here on Earth, right? And Virgo is about the physical. There's a lot of clarity about relationships or about, excuse me, about these themes. Yeah, there is. There's something new for you, definitely, Pisces, or you are planting seeds for something new. Um, Yeah, and as I said, you're being smarter about relationships here with Mercury there. Mm-hmm. And you're being smarter how you show up, most likely, or how you view relationships. And the moon is trining Pluto in Aquarius. So here's the moon, and here is Pluto down here. We see the trine right here. This is you have a better understanding of your emotional needs. Yeah, and that's really good because that is clarity for you, Pisces, right? There's an intensity. Emotional connections can promote healing and growth. How great is that, right? Um, yeah, in your relationships. And Jupiter is your ancient ruler. Jupiter is right here. Jupiter is showing up. It is trining the North Node. And what house is Jupiter in for you? I believe it's in your fifth house. Yeah, see, Jupiter is in your house of lovers, of romance, of children and parents. This is also self-expression. So Jupiter is definitely supporting your self-expression. Since this is in your fifth house, you could meet a lover, a fated encounter with somebody that you'll be in a relationship with. Maybe somebody you'll even marry here. It's possible, but this is usually um, about a relationship, the vertex, but it can be too that fated encounters help you to grow and expand. People you meet, possibly, right? That's in your fifth house. You could do that maybe through, maybe at the gym, maybe, exercising or something, because this is the house of recreational activity. Virgo is a little bit more, well, Virgo can be about exercise too, definitely. Um, and you could really expand with your own creative pursuits, right? You definitely could. And so we have Jupiter, and it is trining the North Node. And so Pisces, the North Node is about your true purpose, your higher purpose, becoming your best self. Some people like to call it fate and destiny, and it can be if you are really, following your heart and following your soul's intention. Then you will reach this North Node. It's pretty much like the North Star, I like to say there. But we have Jupiter trining that. And this is your life purpose, as I said, your true path. And so you're experiencing growth and expansion and your self-love, definitely, because this is in Cancer, your self-love and nurturing on, yeah, personally and also romantically, right? But this is helping you. There's sometimes something faded that is helping you really kind of grow into your better self, your best self. Yeah. And so we have the vertex, Pisces, and the vertex is, I was just talking about that with the faded endeavors, right? But this is supporting your self identity. It sure is, with that growth and expansion. So now we have Jupiter is also sextiling the south node here for you. The South Node is in Virgo, and this is in your seventh house of relationships. It is legalities and, openness, openness as well. Open to receive, open to open. That's really what it is. It can be about open enemies as well. It's right. And this is also the house of fairness and balance and, and harmony. And this is why the open element is important. But you have a sextile here with that south node. And, Jupiter here is once again about your growth and expansion. And so this could be about your creative, your self-identity. I feel like this is about your self-expression where you are leaving things behind and that is supporting you and bringing opportunities for you to grow and expand. Yeah, and whether, that may have to do with relationships, but I feel like it also has to do with self-nurturing, emotional, increasing emotional like awareness, emotional stability, and also supporting your creative endeavors, your own self-expression as well. So that's really a good thing. Yeah, it is. And so, you could be letting go of old wounds, Pisces. You really could with this Jupiter. Jupiter is giving you the wisdom here, sextiling this south node, the wisdom to let things go. Like, God, they've just been hindering me and, kind of holding on and nagging me and let those go, right? Whatever they have to do with. They might have to do with family, family wounds or just past wounds with relationships or could be with the mother. It's possible. South Node can sometimes be about the mother. But cancer is about family, so it can be about any family wound as well, right? Yeah, and so you're becoming much more grounded and practical in your everyday life, Pisces. You are. It's such a good thing because you guys are so full of creativity and compassion and just kind of idealistic, where everything can be so beautiful. And that's a good thing, but we have to be grounded as well, right? We need all these all the qualities, right? Yeah, I feel like we do. And Saturn is in your sign, and Saturn is helping you to be more grounded. Let's go ahead and refresh it. And so Saturn is helping you to be more grounded, Pisces, and see things with a more realistic approach. And that is very good as well, right? It's helping you to also be more serious and committed to achievement and structure in your life, which is more grounding, right? For sure. We have Jupiter. This is your natal Jupiter. I don't know if I mentioned that, but we have Jupiter, been talking about Jupiter for a long time now. Jupiter is squaring Chiron in your house of self-esteem. So there is a little bit of pressure here, or internal conflict between your well-being and your self-expression, or with romantic partners. So when we say self-expression and your well-being, I mean, maybe you feel kind of that, your job or whatever is not, possibly is not supporting your own self-expression. I mean, that can be an example of that. Yeah, where am I on this? And let's look at Chiron. So Chiron is in your second house of earned income and well-being. Now, see, this is about well-being here, Chiron here. It's also in Aries. This is about yourself. This is about you, your own self-expression, basically, and because the square is to the fifth house. So, yeah. But there definitely is this kind of yeah, Jupiter is squaring Chiron. There's an opportunities here. Everything is definitely about your growth and expansion right now, and that could be kind of that could be pushing you a little bit to see things better in order to help you grow. Right? This is a lot of expansion here for you, Pisces. I feel like it's really good for you. You might be healing old wounds, like physical wounds as well, too. You could right now, right? And stepping into a whole new, maybe you are healthier right now, or you're starting to be, you might have left something, some little, it doesn't have to be anything major. It could be anything, something minor, but that may be chronic, right? Could be. And so now we have, there's a need to establish balance as Chiron in Aries is about healing the self. So you are doing that Capricorn, I mean, not Capricorn, Pisces. You are establishing grounding, um, and stability here. I believe you are. And Pluto is conjunct the anti-vertex. Here's the anti-vertex. The anti-vertex can be about letting things fall away, things that no longer, things that were most likely meant to be in your life, but they're no longer like important, right? It can also be seeing unconscious patterns, and that's really important, Pisces, for you guys, because that is part of, the 12th house that you represent is unconscious patterns, right? And we all have to learn to see them. Yeah, we do. I feel like you are seeing them here because at least about, yeah, I feel like you are, and you are releasing them as they pertain to your health or, or family, possibly. Just old wounds. The South Node can be about old wounds, family wounds even as well. So I feel like you might feel like you're changing and that you're being a little bit challenged maybe in that change and in that growth. So this is helping you to transform Pluto with the anti-vertex and regenerate by understanding those unconscious patterns that are related to wounds of the past. You're letting them fall away, Pisces. All right. So I hope you learned a little bit here. And thank you so much. And if you enjoyed the video, please like, share, and subscribe. It does really help a lot with this, with the YouTube algorithm. And I am trying to reach 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours. So yeah, it would be really helpful. Thanks so much for joining me here, you guys, and have a great day.